Hello everyone, Iojiki here, and today I'm going to talk to you about last week in Overwatch. So, what happened last week in Overwatch? There was the beta release, which was a pretty big deal to everybody. It came out on October 27th, and everybody was really excited for it. Excited to open up their BattleNet launcher and play it, only to find out that they didn't have access, or a majority of people didn't have access. However, a lot of people, namely streamers, did have access to it, and they were already playing it. So what happened here? Basically, Blizzard came out originally and said that they weren't going to give access to just streamers. What they were going to do is use it as a traditional beta where they were going to test bug fixes or have people test it thoroughly, and it was going to be a very limited number of amount of people. And I kind of predicted this in my previous video about Overwatch, where I was like, we probably all won't get in, but maybe a few streamers will, and we can watch them play. Well, a lot of streamers got in. And so Blizzard was basically saying this isn't going to be a promotional move, but then it was in a sense, because what they did was they gave it to a lot of streamers, and then all the streamers were playing, and suddenly 50,000 people were watching Overwatch at a time. And basically what happened was all of these all these people were really salty about it, and so Reddit, Overwatch Reddit, pretty much became a salt mine, with the amount of people that were just really upset about it. And so that's pretty much how the launch went in a nutshell. Some streamers got to play it, a lot of people didn't, but then they continually released more beta accesses over the time. So the past few weeks or the past week that they had, every day they were releasing some small amount of other people that would come in. Already now that the streamers are, I mean, the views on Twitch are pretty down from what they were in the first few days, but we're approaching BlizzCon, so BlizzCon is probably going to pick up everything. All right, so aside from the Overwatch launch, beta launch that we had, Blizzard released a couple of bits of information that on their Twitter that they tweeted out to everybody, and two of them basically. One of them was kind of a concept art, which I'll put right over here, and it was of like an alien invasion type thing, but they didn't really specify what this was going to be. Some people are speculating that it could be a new game mode, because right now all we have in Overwatch is payload and attack and defend points. So this would be a cool little game mode, maybe like a cooperative against an army kind of story-driven game mode. But we have really no idea what it's going to be. All we have is the picture really to go on. The second bit of information that Blizzard teased this week was D.va, which is a new hero. I'll put the picture over here. Basically, D.va is a professional StarCraft player, four-time world champion. That's her hobby, or that's her profession, I guess, would be a StarCraft player. But she's taking some time off of playing StarCraft to play Overwatch, I guess. It's kind of a weird cross promotion type of thing, but we've seen pictures of D.va before. She appeared actually on a poster in Hanamura, the Hanamura map, and I'll put the picture here as well that you can take a look at it. And people were speculating that D.va was going to be the next hero released, but we really had no information on her or what her abilities were going to be, or even if she was actually going to be the next hero. She could have just been some art or some famous person. But it makes a lot more sense. And so D.va's coming out, but we don't really have any information so far to go on her, aside from what they've said her name is. And so we're thinking that maybe BlizzCon she'll probably come out, or at least she'll get spoiled with an ability trailer or something. And people are speculating whether or not she's going to be an offense character, defense character, tank, or support. Currently in the game, we have 5 offense, 5 defense characters, 4 tanks, and 4 supports, I believe. The last 2 characters that were released, Junkrat and Roadhog, were a tank and a offense character. So she could be a support. I doubt she's going to be a tank. unless she is in some giant mech or something, then in which case she could be a tank. But it's more likely that she's going to be a support given her StarCraft background. She could be very tactical, maybe some controlling of the battlegrounds, but we have no idea. And I doubt she's going to be a tank because Roadhog just came out and he was a tank. So I'm going for support. That's my predictions, but we'll see after BlizzCon what she actually is. Also, the people over at overpwn.com, I'll put a link to the actual post in the description, but basically Overpwn and their respective other games that they cover, they do a lot of data mining, and they've already started data mining this game. And what data mining is, if you guys don't know, is basically they go into the game files that we have access to, and they kind of poke around and they look for hidden word strings or something that may have been left in the code for information. And so basically what happened was they went into the code and they found a few strings that are pretty interesting, and I wanted to talk about them briefly in this video. So they found a couple of strings hinting at potential guilds. So they have the word guild and guild officer listed in the strings, and so those are pretty noticeable. It's kind of interesting that they're using the word guild instead of like clan. When you think of shooters, you think of like team or clan, but it could be, I mean, guild is more like an RPG type of thing, but they could just be using guild as a placeholder word. Additionally, they pulled out some unlockable things, like hints of it unlockable. So they had sprays, which are like you can spray on the walls, little stickers, new skins. They also hinted at a customizable play of the game, which basically, if you don't know, play of the game happens at the end of each match in Overwatch. And basically what it does is the game calculates a whole bunch of information, and it thinks that what the play of the game possibly was, and then it plays you a good 5 seconds of whatever it was that you were being awesome. And it's not just you, it's whoever had the play of the game, it shows it for everybody. So the play of the game could be you ulted and you got 5 kills or something as McCree or whatever, or it could have been something stupid like you're playing Torbjorn and you're just running back to the base and your turret's killing things, and then you get 5 kills and the game thinks that was the play of the game, but you're really not even at your turret. So I think that could be refined, but basically there's an animation that plays before the play of the game, just of your character, and there's some hints at maybe being able to customize what your character does prior to that play of the game, which could be pretty cool. You can get something really cool and show it off. They also hinted at master weapons, which is something really cool, and that was basically like, at least what I'm getting from it, is an unlockable. So similar in Heroes of the Storm. If you've ever played Heroes of the Storm, you get a master skin after you reach level 10 in a character. So if they put a progression system in where you're getting experience for playing each game, then you get to like level 10 as a particular character, you could unlock a master weapon, which also hints at the possibility of them having skins for your weapons, or alternative looking weapons, which would be pretty cool as well. So they could be going to a really customizable method, I guess I would say, to what they're doing in the game. Now, this also hints at their payment model, because if there's so many unlockables in the game, and they've already stated that they don't want any of the characters to be behind a paywall. Basically, they want every character to be available for everybody at the very beginning of the game. If they're doing that, it strongly hints at them doing a free-to-play model. However, Blizzard's been pretty tight-lipped about everything in regards to their payment model, and I suspect that they're going to show this off at BlizzCon this year. But we have a few more days to find out, and we'll see. I mean, they could completely blindside everybody and say, who knows? It's a subscription model. I don't know. We have no idea. They've been really, really quiet about it. But my predictions: free to play, skins, sprays, customizable weapons, play the games, icons. They're gonna do all that, and that's I think the real smart method to do because they have to compete with the other team-based shooter games, which most of them are free to play. I'm not very well versed in team-based shooters outside of Overwatch, so I'm not really particularly sure, but I think they're all free to play. But we'll have to see in BlizzCon. So that's pretty much the short of what happened last week in Overwatch. I'll be back next week to tell you what happened this coming week, including my BlizzCon coverage. So it'll be kind of a BlizzCon wrap-up video as well. So if you have any BlizzCon predictions, I'd love to hear them. Just put them in the comments below, and I will address them in the next video next week when I cover BlizzCon, and we see if any of my predictions are right. Until then, I will catch you guys all later, and I will see you on the next video. Later.